Yes, thank you. Dear students, good evening. We welcome all of you for this webinar, and we have with us eminent speaker CA Aishwarya Kapoor ji and moderator TA Navneet Rathi ji. Moderator sir will be introducing to you with the chairman sir, vice chairman sir, and speaker. Over to speak moderator. Moderator sir, please continue.
Sir, good evening to all of you. Here, this is CA Navneet Rathi. A very warm welcome to all of you joining us for today's session of the Run at the Rate 100 webinar series, an initiative by the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India Board of Studies Operations to celebrate excellence, ignite insight, and empower the next generation of finance professionals. Today's session is an exciting one and a truly essential skill in the modern financial world. Topic: practicing professional skepticism with diplomacy. To lead us into the artful territory, we are privileged to have with us a distinguished speaker, CA Aishwarya Kapoor. Welcome, ma'am. Firstly, I introduce CA Dr. Rohit Ruatia Saab, Chairman, Board of Studies Operations, ICI 2526. CA Dr. Ruatia is an iconic Council member of the iconic Central Council member of ICI and currently serving as Chairman of Board of Studies Operations. Renowned for his visionary leadership, he holds the distinction of being one of the youngest ever managing committee member, regional council member and central council member in ICI's history. He has contributed for major initiatives for inclusion of ICI's name in Guinness World Record for the largest career counseling session, led impactful programs like Practice Ki Pathshala and the residential training for new COP holders. As chairman, he continues to shape policy and method of practice for CA profession and the aspiring students respectively. Dedicated to student empowerment, he is committed to modernizing CA education through digital platform, innovative learning methods, and industry-related training, making him a key force in the redefining the future of the CA profession. We can say he is energetic, vibrant lead energy of the ICI. Now let me introduce Vice Chairman, Board of Studies Operations, ICI 2526, CA Sanjeev Sanghi Saab. CA Sanjeev Sanghi, a seasoned chartered accountant with over 26 years of experience, currently serving as the Vice Chairman of the Board of Studies Operations, ICI. As a Central Council member, he is widely respected for his leadership in digital transformation, capacity building, and professional development. As capable chartered accountant, he led impactful initiatives like Uran and the Voice of Diamonds. He has actively contributed to various ICI committees and held key positions in professional and social organizations. Known for his visionary approach, he is committed to empowering young professionals, enhancing auditor ethics, and strengthening ICI's global presence through innovation and inclusive growth. Hats off Sanjeev Sanghi Saab and the chairman Rohit Ruatia Saab for this 100 webinar series. A warmly welcome action. Now I introduce today's speaker, CA Aishwarya Kapoor, is a qualified chartered accountant currently practicing in Varanasi with a strong background in audit and taxation.
Any issue, sir? We'll continue, sir. I may complete this. Sir, I am completing this. She began her career with the PricewaterhouseCoopers (PwC), one of the globally renowned Big Four firms, where she gained valuable experience in statutory audit and tax advisory services. After gaining experience in the corporate world, she found her passion in teaching. She firmly believes that becoming a chartered accountant is not just about clearing exams, but about developing the mindset and skills needed to thrive in the real world. She continues to actively practice as a CA while teaching and mentoring the next generation of finance leaders. Over to speaker, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Rati, sir. Hello, everybody. And first of all, I would like to thanks the efforts of ICI to run this program, Run 100, and ICI is really helping students dedicated towards imparting necessary skills towards the students of ICI. We really need these skills in the real world. Let it be corporate, let it be practice. These skills are really important, and I again thank the Board of Studies for this session. So, with the students, I would like to discuss. Whenever we talk to students, we also go back to our articleship days. And one thing that I clearly remember when we used to go for audits, when we used to go for any assignment, we used to be very energetic. We used to be very enthusiastic that yes, we'll go and we'll this time we'll find out something different that nobody else has pointed out, and we are going to just impress our managers, our bosses, and we are also going to question the management. Why have you done this? Why have you done that? And everybody will be like, oh wow, how much we know. So these kind of things happen with every article. Articleship is such a phase where each day when we go to office, we are filled with new energy that today we are going to learn something new. Today we are going to point out something new. Today we are going to apply our knowledge. Those heavy books that we read, we are going to apply that knowledge, and we are going to just have a new word today. This happens with everybody. But somewhere or the other, the real scenario turns out something different. So, what used to happen when I used to go for any audit, it was the case with me, my friends, anybody. We used to go for audit and we were very much enthusiastic about it. Let's do ledger scrutiny and let's find out something. And we always had some questions. Okay, fine. We took our questions, we wrote in our diaries and everywhere, and we just took our questions to the accountant, those officials, those employees sitting over there, and we used to ask questions. One answer that we always got was, this happens this way. It has been happening this way. We have been doing this way over the years. And we were like, okay. I always used to think that what is the whole point of asking this when they say the same thing, that this has been the case over the years. Somehow after like few months when this continued, I really talked to my principal about this, that sir, what is the whole point of us doing ledger scrutiny? Because when we go and ask questions, this is the reply that we get. And obviously because we were the articles and they have been doing the same work over the years, we used to think that obviously they know better. Those officials, those employees, they know better because they have been doing the same thing over the years. They have control over their finances, they have control over their entries, they have control over their processes. What do we know? So my principal said that it is not actually the lack of knowledge that you're facing here. It's not the lack of knowledge. You're already doing your books, you're already reading, you're already trying to apply those things, and I am there and everything. But It's actually the lack of that approach which is required. I was like, sir, now what approach? Any which ways, I'm trying to dig into the facts, I'm trying to question them, I'm see how many notings I have, how many things I'm doing just to gain a valuable insight, just to see that yes, we actually present uh, you know a clear opinion, the auditor's opinion. The service like the approach is exactly balancing your skepticism and diplomacy. And that is what we are going to talk about today. Yes, today's session, I must say that ICI has put up a very, very interesting, important, and totally indispensable session. It is about balancing professional skepticism on one side and diplomacy on the other side. Let's just dig into it further. With this, I would like to share my window. So we are going to talk about practicing professional skepticism with diplomacy. Hello, everybody. I'm CA Aishwarya Kapoor, and we are going to talk about this in a very interesting manner, and you are going to gain very interesting insights. Also, you are going to see that how much this relates to your day-to-day articleship life that you're living, and you're going to audit places, you're going on assignments, and all these things you also face, and how to tackle with all these things. That is what we're going to see here, practicing professional skepticism with diplomacy. Obviously, first of all, let's see what we are going to go through today. We're going to talk about why we need to be so skeptical. Is it always our nature, or do we actually require to be skeptical? Next, we are going to dig into the meanings, and we are going to talk about how do we strike a balance between the two. That is very much important. Striking a balance, that is what the most important thing is. Next, we are going to talk about some of the framework to practice both, how we can actually do that when we are in field, when we are on ground. I'm going to discuss with you some case studies. I'm also going to discuss with you some interesting events from the history, from obviously the financial history of this country, the frauds and all. How did it happen, and what was there? What was the main concern over there? We're going to talk about our key takeaways, and then I'll give you the final thought. Let's begin. So the question arises, why do we need to be skeptical? Some people are soft, some people are loud, some are extrovert, some are introvert, some are ambiverts. So we are of different nature. We are people of different approaches, of different attitude. One may question, ma'am, maybe my friend is very skeptical. My friend is very of questioning mind. I am not. I don't want to question the employees. I don't want to question the accountant on every single thing, that why is it this, why is it that. My friend does this, and it's his nature, it's his attitude, it's his way of questioning or doing assignments. The thing is that being skeptical as a chartered accountant is not something that we need to have in our nature. It's something that we are required to have as a professional. You may be a different kind of person in your personal life or even in your professional life, but being skeptical is something that we all need to have in common. Yes, we all. We all means all the chartered accountants here, and you being the future chartered accountants, all my dear students. The foundation of professional skepticism is laid in our standards on auditing itself and also the ICI's code of conduct. Yes, it is not something that your principal has asked you to do. It's not something that your colleagues have asked you to do. It's not something that I am asking you to do. It's something that our standards on auditing and our ICI's code of conduct talks about. Yes, you all know about your standards on auditing 200, 315, 330, about the objectives of independent auditor. Yes, assessing risk, how to respond to those assessed risk, how to finally deal with fraud and all. So apart from these essays also, there are some other essays also that talk about that we need to be skeptical. We need to have a questioning mind. We need to do our work with a skeptical approach. What does this mean? What does this mean? What does being professionals, what does being skeptical mean? Is it always about being a digger? Is it always about putting up a lot of questions? No. It's about having a questioning mind. It's about never taking things for granted. It's about never being a pushover, I can say. Yes. So just imagine a scenario. You just found out something in the financial statements, you found some recent hike or something, you found an unusual trend, and you just went to the finance head, yes, and you asked him with due respect. So what I can see here is last year your sales were only up to 20%, only up by 20%. This year, these are up by 120%, 140%. So may I know the reason? Because I don't find things right over here. I think there is something fishy. I think you have done something wrong. Obviously, you will see that first of all, the finance head is clearly offended. Second, you were being skeptical. That is a very good thing. But the way you put up those things over there, that was kind of not acceptable, I can say. So what does professional skepticism mean? First of all, having that questioning mind. Acha, the finance head says, so what? We just had a good marketing campaign this year, and so we got a rise in our sales. Yes. You went with another query. So why is this rent entry like this? So why is this amount showing this much? So this is how we do. So why have you reversed this provision? This is how we do. And you just take this as an answer and come back. Is this having professional skepticism means? No. You should have that questioning mind. You should reach to a point where you satisfy your gut that yes, whatever the person is saying, I'll have to match it with my knowledge. I'll have to match it with my professional experience and then take this as an answer or not. So professional skepticism means having a questioning mind. Why do we have that questioning mind? Why do we have that kind of approach? Because there is always a risk of material misstatements. There is always a risk of fraud. There is always a risk of some or the other error. And that is why we need to put up that question. We need to have that questioning mind. Suppose you go with your friend for an assignment and this person doesn't ask anything. First of all, hampers your learning. Second, this is not ICAI's approach. Yes, coming back, again we come back to our standards on auditing. Here you can see your SA 200, 315 and 330 clearly say that you have to seek explanations from management. If you're not satisfied with management explanations, go dig further. Have those answers. That is what our standard says. As professionals, we need to comply with our standards. And yes, we do sign this. We do sign this in our auditor's report that we have complied with all the standards on auditing. We have done our work with professional skepticism. So this is what being true to yourself also means. Yes, and that is what ICAI Code of Ethics also says. When you're doing your work with integrity, objectivity, independence, all this require to be professionally skeptical. All this require to have a questioning mind. Yes? So, what is professional skepticism? I think it is very much clear to you all. Professional skepticism is about staying alert to inconsistencies and when the time comes, when you find it right, question them. But always be alert. Do not take anything for granted. Do not take anything for just a pattern. Be alert. Be always have that mind to question. Acha. Now, here the question arises, what is diplomacy? Our whole discussion is about balancing professional skepticism on one hand and diplomacy on the other hand. So what what diplomacy means here. Now, I had questioning mind. I had questions in my mind. But having those questions is this thing enough? I'm having questions and I just went straight away to the finance head. I just went bluntly to the officers. I went bluntly to the employees and fired those questions. Why? Why? Because I am a part of the audit team. I'm having those superpower that I can question. I'm having that power to dig into your finances, your papers, your documents. And I just went bluntly and asked you questions. What will happen if I just didn't take care of my tone? If I didn't take care of my words, if I didn't take care of my approach, what will happen? First, it will create a very bad impact of the entire team because even one single person represents a team. Second, I'll be losing my client's faith in myself because the client will be very hostile towards me now. The client will not be able to share anything. They won't be comfortable in sharing things, sharing stuff with me because I put things bluntly on their face. Third, it might also lead to losing the client. See, this client and auditor relationship is a very sensitive one. It's a very delicate one. I am here to check your work, which nobody likes. I've already done my work. I took months, I took years to do my work. You come in for 1 month or something, for some days, maybe a week, maybe a fortnight, and you just come here and you start questioning my work. Who would like that? So it's a very, very, very delicate relationship. On one part, we have to maintain that relationship also. And on the other part, we have to do our job. So diplomacy is about asking questions that you had in your mind while being professionally skeptical. But you cannot sound accusatory. You cannot accuse anybody that you have done something wrong, as if this person has hidden all the facts, as if this person is involved in the fraud, as if today I'm going to, lift up all the veil and I'm going to just put a whitewash over his face and I'll prove it to everybody that I have found some fraud. I have found errors and this person is responsible. You cannot put questions like this. Neither can you put the blame on somebody. Neither can you question anybody's knowledge that you don't know how things are done. You don't know how this entry is passed. You don't know how this thing works. And see where have you landed. All your financials are portraying wrong picture. You have window dressed it. You cannot think that way. So why diplomacy matters? Because if I do not deal with the entire thing, if I do not deal with the entire case diplomatically, I might lose trust. I might lose the client. I might portray a very bad picture of my entire firm. That this is how we talk. This is how we deal. And next time, obviously, the client is not going to show that much of trust on you. He or she is not going to share the data with you, anything relevant that you're trying to find out. So you have to act very diplomatically over there. You have to, I can say that you have the sword. You have the sword of being professionally skeptical. You have the sword of digging things out. But it should be covered with a velvet veil of diplomacy. That is how we talk. That is how we question. That is how we try to find out things, because it is all about balancing both the things. It is all about balancing these things, that we have to have a questioning mind. We have to put up questions, but how? Diplomatically. Okay, let's see what happens if we do not maintain a balance. Let's see, let's go through this. What if we have high skepticism but low diplomacy? We are very skeptical. Oh my God. Today we have just gotten up very fresh and I'm like, yes, I have read everything in my audit book. I have read everything in my accounts book. I have read everything in my law book. And I'm going to question things like anything. And I'm just going to prove to my client that I know better than you. And you have been doing things wrong. And I'm going to show you how things are done. I'm going to put up questions. My principal is going to get impressed that, yes, wow, what an article. How much notings he have, how much questions he have, what a mind, wow. And I'm going to just put them straight in my client's face and I'm going to show it to them what professionalism means. What will happen? What if you're highly skeptical but low on diplomacy? Suppose. So you're going to act blunt, rude, you're going to be very confrontational. You tell the client what will be the consequences. The client will obviously feel insulted because they have been doing the same thing over and over again over the years. Obviously, an auditor is going to give them inputs. An auditor is there to refine their work. An auditor is there to help them out in making things better. And also, the auditor is there to find out any material misstatement, any error, right? Any fraud. So we have to balance both of them. As you can see, if I'm highly skeptical but low on diplomacy, the client might feel insulted. The client might not be willing to share a lot of information with me. The matter might be escalated to his senior, to my senior, and there will be total loss of trust. Even my firm can get a bad name just because of my behavior. Okay, ma'am. Then what I'll do is I'll not ask anything. If he's going to report to my principal that this is how I talk, this is how I put up questions, then it's better now. I don't even ask anything. I'll just go. Whatever is there, I'll check. Say that yes, obviously you are more learned, and I'm just going to everything. What will happen? You're high on diplomacy, but low on skepticism. So our standards fail here. If you're low on skepticism, our standards will totally fail. One thing that is clear that we will be landing into the risk of giving a wrong opinion, correct? I'm going to sign I'm going to sign a report which already contain material misstatement, but just because my articles think that no, we should be diplomatic, we should not be questioning a lot. I have already given a green tick to all the fraud and error and material misstatement. And what if I come back from a week's work, I do not put up any question, I was not skeptical, and when the same thing was given before my senior, will my senior even accept my work? Will I hold any credibility in my firm too? No, not at all. Why? Because the way I have worked, the way I have done my work on ground has totally lost faith. I have missed all red flags because I was taking things for granted. I was too trusting. I was very lenient. I always took this as an answer that we have been doing things like this. This is how it is. Your senior never questioned. Your principal knows about this. And I have always taken this as an answer. What happens? Next year, somebody else is on that audit. And then when they dig in further, they get to know that I just failed. I failed to be professional. I failed in my ethics. I did a poor job. And already we have signed a wrong financial and we have given a wrong report. So this is not doing justice with my work. Nowhere this is justice to my work. I have to maintain a balance between the two. Now the question arises, ma'am, how can we actually maintain a balance between the two? How can we do that? Because on one side, I have to have a questioning mind. Not just the questioning mind, but actually the questions. On the other hand, I have to maintain this delicate relationship. I have to maintain the respect. I have to maintain the integrity. I have to maintain the honor of my firm also. How am I going to maintain this balance? Let's see. We have a situation here. Client hides a fact. What is the risk? If the client has hidden a fact, that means we are missing something. We are missing the truth. One approach is You just go to the client, you just go to the employee and you ask him, sir, I think that there is something missing. You're trying to hide something from me. Sir, there is something fishy. No, sir, you have to tell me. No, sir, you have to tell me. Yes, I'm part of the auditing. This is not how I can get the response. I will never get a response from this. What approach can I use? Now look at the words. These are going to help you out. The words can be, could you please help me understand this transaction better? Now, you just went through an entry and your questioning mind, your gut says that there is something wrong. They are trying to just put something on the loop. One entry to another entry, another through another through another. So they are trying to put something on the loop. I need to know better. How are you going to ask? So can you please help me understand this transaction better? What was the transaction and how did we come to this entry? Can you please help me understand better? There is no harm in taking a polite approach. Rather, you should take a polite approach always. Your first remedy is taking a polite approach. And there is no harm in portraying as if you're trying to learn, because obviously you're trying to learn also while doing all this job. Second situation, team cuts corners. Your team is like, okay, leave that entry, leave that amount. You don't need to dig everything. We have got deadline to chase, and obviously we always have deadlines to chase. So you're like, we have deadlines to chase. Just leave this entry. Arey, just leave this thing, yaar. Arey, just leave this point. Don't run behind everything, minor or major. And we need to just wrap this up ASAP. We have got just 3 days to wrap this. And you're like, okay, fine, yaar. I should not run behind every nook and corner. I am not going to run behind every small question, and I'm not going to ask anything. My job is to just give them documented report. My job is to give them of what I've done, and I'm going to do that. Is this approach good? No. Your team is already trying to do that, but you should take a firm step. You should take a firm step. Yes, you have deadlines to chase. You should strike a balance. You can leave the immaterial part, definitely, because we are there. We have to take care about the materiality also. Leave the immaterial part, but where materiality is concerned, you should take care of small gaps also. Yes, we know that even small amounts can lead to something big. So we can say that small gaps matter. Let's make sure that this time we are fully covered. Yes, your team was saying that every time we have been doing things like that. Oh, just leave that part. It's not that important. We have been doing things like that. But you can say that, no, this time let's be fully covered. Let's take care of the small gaps. Maybe next time nobody will be saying like this. Next time they'll be also taking care of this small part, right? Next situation. Audit partner pushes for a soft language. Audit partner is like, oh, come on, yeah, leave it. The clients get offended. Don't ask him such questions. The client get offended. We can just simply say that if the client gets offended, let me write them a mail and they'll give explanation in mail. That's it. We can take that approach. So it's all about striking a balance. Here I've got a framework for you all to help you while you're already on field, and this is your SKEP-TAC framework. As you can see, SKEP-TAC stands for signal silently first. Yes, you're being skeptical. You cannot go and ask blunt questions. You cannot disregard anybody's efforts. Signal silently first. Next, know your facts. Yes, always be clear of what you are asking. Before putting acquisitions on anybody else, before pointing finger on anybody else, please make sure that you are clear with your facts. Empathize with the other side. Never use such a language, never use such an approach that might land him in trouble, that might land you in trouble. Phrase with caution. That is the entire thing about. When we are being skeptical, we have to wear that velvet veil of diplomacy, and we should phrase our words with caution. We can take help of our seniors, our colleagues, our principal whenever needed. we should avoid confrontational language, and we have to be accountable for our work. How are we going to put it practically? Let's see. I have given you some golden phrases, as you can see. I've given you some golden phrases. This is what's going to help you while you are on field. Yes, because a lot of students ask me, ma'am, you said that we have to be skeptical along with being diplomat. But what does this actually mean? What does, how are we going to put things up while we are actually there? Because, ma'am, on the field, things are different. When we study, when we take webinars, when we take sessions, things are different. Okay, let's see. So I've given you some golden phrases. I've given you something practical that is going to help you on field. Let's see. So when we talk about the SKEP-TAC framework, you have to first take care of signaling silently first. This is one of the approaches. It's not that this SKEP-TAC framework is step-by-step process. These are your 7 weapons that you can use. You have to signal silently first if you have noticed something before putting this thing bluntly, before putting this thing rudely on the client's face. You can just give them a hint that you have started noticing something and you're putting an eye to it. You're keeping an eye over the thing. The client will also understand that yes, you are being skeptical. And you know what? One thing that I'll just share from my experience, those high-end clients, those already, I must say, the big organizations, they take care, they take a lot of care from their end that things are not materially misstated. And they like a team which questions. If you go to a big client and you just accept things because they are a big organization, already chartered are reviewing their work, internal audit is also going on, everything is fine, everything has been like this for over 10 years, 15 years, and you don't question anything. I'm telling you, your big organizations, those big clients, they kind of might not like this. They want a team who put up questions. They want a team though who do their work with integrity, with objectivity. So when you find something, when you see something, you can just give a hint that I noticed something interesting here. Could we go over this together? Can we just see what is happening in this thing? I just noticed something. Okay. The client will understand that you are being skeptical and you are hinting that you're going to ask about it. Know your facts. If you're not clear with something, if you think that something should be done in different manner and it has been done in a different manner, just ask for a clear explanation just to clarify. You can use this phrase, just to clarify, sir. Just to understand things better, sir. How does this align with the policy? Because in my knowledge, I think it should be something else. But if you have used a different approach, can you please help me clear this? This is how you can use your words. Empathize with the other sides. You have to take care of the fact that other person has done something and you cannot just put a finger on this person that you have done something wrong. You can say that, yes, sir, let's explore this a bit further. Whatever you have done, let's explore this further. Can you please help me understand this process a little more? Oh, sir, obviously you know better, but can you, sir, just walk me through this again? Because, sir, I need to know the process. I have to document it, sir. So while they'll be explaining you, while they'll be talking to you, while they'll be discussing, you will get more insights. Next, phrase with caution. Always have a respectful tone. Always. That is what being diplomatic is all about. May I ask a follow-up question on this part? Yes. Take help. Take help. If you think that something is there, that they are trying to trick you with something, they are trying to trick you with some or the other, their technical stuff, you take help of your senior, you can take help of your principal, and you can just say this to your client, sir, maybe I'm trying to gain a perspective here, but I'm not very much clear. I would like to come back on this. Correct. I would like to just take my partner in this loop so that they have this idea that they are not gonna trick you. They cannot trick you. Avoid confrontational language. How might we interpret this differently? Yes, you have to take care of this fact that the client may have a different approach. While you are being skeptical doesn't always mean that you are right and the client is wrong. As if you know everything and the client knows nothing. It's not like that. So you should not use confrontational language. You should understand their perspective. You should understand their approach. If you still think that no, there is something fishy, you can again take a diplomatic approach. You can again ask them, sir, may you please help me understand this thing better. If you again think that you are being tricked, you can just again say that, sir, I would like to take my senior on this. So this is how you can proceed through this. To conclude with accountability, to ensure we are covered, I note this along with the assumptions we discussed. So once they know that you're noting something, once they know that you're documenting, you can ask them for any kind of clarity, but yes, again with a diplomatic approach. Now the interesting part, let's come to some practical examples and case studies. These are certain case studies, these are certain examples that all of us face while we are on field, while we are auditing. Unusually high year-end sales while auditing. So what did you just notice? That the sales were spiked. The sales were spiked in the last 2 months, and you just want to question this thing. How are you going to question this? If you just go to the client, to the sales head and finance head, and you're like, sir, last 2 months sales are definitely wrong. Sir, this is window dressing, sir. Sir, this is wrong. So please give me the actual data. The client will definitely not share anything with you, that is for sure. And you will be under question mark that this person asks very blunt questions, this person accuses, and you will not be given any kind of information. How are you going to say the same thing? So there was a significant increase in sales just before year end. So can you please help me understand what transactions actually hit this? Now they are showing you the transactions. Now you again can dig further. You can just try to understand the transaction. So can we have the supporting documents to this? Yes, now you have the supporting documents. Still you find that something is wrong. So can I have anything similar from the previous years? So again, you are trying to be skeptical, you're trying to question again and again, and the client is also noticing that you're having a skeptical mind. You're trying to question again and again, and this time the client will see that yes, you are trying to dig into the fact and you are not okay with any of the misstatement with errors and frauds. Next, pressure from management to adjust provisions. This used to happen a lot. Every time when we used to ask anything about any big amount, it was a provision, we have reversed it. Can you please adjust it in provisions? Can you just do away with this amount? Can you just... So we can just say that I understand the presentation aspect. However, we need to ensure the provisions reflect the actual risk profile. So can I have your view on what basis have you made this provision? Sir, I need to document management basis for making provision. Yes, this is also one of the standards on auditing. So, sir, I need to have your basis. Sir, I need to document it. Sir, how have you been doing it in the last years? Sir, can I have what noticeable change have you made? So, why have you made this change? And what was the financial impact? So, this is how you can handle this diplomatically. Next, client skips disclosing a related party transaction. That is what happened in IL&FS case. So, there were significant related party transactions and they always tried to skip it. It was not lack of knowledge of the chartered accountants. Obviously, CAs were involved, CAs were there, but it was not their lack of knowledge, correct? It was their lack of skepticism that they never questioned. They could see that there are some RTPs, the related party transactions, but because they did not want to lose a big client, a reputed client, they never dig in further. What happened? Eventually was in front of all of us. This IL&FS fraud, it was a big one in the history. How to handle diplomatically? Just to clarify, again, see, our golden phrase is here, just to clarify. I came across a transaction involving this company name, that you already know is a related party transaction. Now, how do you know? Obviously, because you have understood the company's background, you have gone through their annual report, you have gone through their balance sheets. Now you know who are the related parties. Now you can ask them, so this seems to me like a related party transaction. Can we please confirm this if it falls under our definition and if it requires disclosure? You have to act. You have to act as if you are trying to question their knowledge. You're trying to be very innocent, as if you're trying to just give them an input. Sir, should this be disclosed as per our understanding of the RTP? RPT, yes. Related party transaction, sir, should this be disclosed? Because sir, as far as my understanding is concerned, I think this falls under our disclosure parameters. Now you have already put that question. Now you are already under that framework. You have already given that hint that I have noticed something fishy here. Next, internal team asks you to overlook a finding. Most of the time this happens. The internal audit team, when you discuss anything with them, they're like, oh, fine, we don't have to be concerned about this so much. We don't have to take care of this a lot. We should not be very much, we should be skeptical, but not too much. Not every single thing matters. Oh, you can just do away with this. Because they also know that if you actually find out something, it will raise a question on their work also. So nobody wants their work to be questioned. So they are trying to hide something. They are trying to just do away with something. They don't want something to come up which requires extra effort and extra findings and extra work. What you can do is, I completely understand the context and how minor it seems, but as part of our professional responsibility, yes, you can use the word, as part of my professional responsibility, I have to document all the minor things. And once you talk about that, no, I have to document the minor things, I have to give my senior this reply, I have to be clear on this aspect, they'll have to cooperate with you. So you have to conclude with accountability. Whenever you think that the team, the internal audit team, the management team, the employees, they're trying to just do away with something, you take it over your accountability. You are like, no, sir, I'll have to report it, sir. So it's part of my responsibility. So they know that you are being innocent. It's part of your responsibility. But if you just put this on their face, no, why are you trying to hide this? Is there something that you don't want us to know? Is there a risk of material misstatement? Are these numbers wrong? Are these numbers inflated? Now, if you are asking this way, nobody is going to cooperate with you. But if you just be innocent, if you just be diplomatic, so this is a part of my responsibility. So they know that you're just doing your duty. That's it. During an interview, you spot a logical flaw in the panel statement. So they are trying to answer some of your queries, and you clearly see that they are trying to, put you in a loop. They're trying not giving you a complete answer. And they're trying to just put some wrong things in your head. You can come up with a thing. You can just signal them silently that, sir, my perspective on this thing is something else. But this can only happen when you are clear with your facts. This can only happen when you are very sure that what you are asking or what perspective you are sharing is actually correct. With your data being incorrect, with your knowledge being blurred, with your knowledge being, wrong, you cannot question somebody's perspective. You cannot question somebody's approach. So if you actually got some insight while you were asking question, you can again ask them, no, sir, I have a different perspective. I understand this thing differently. No, sir, as far as my knowledge is concerned, sir, as much as I know about this NDS, sir, as far as I have read about this standard, so it should be done in this manner. Sir, this should be the impact. Sir, this should be the amount. But if you have a different perspective, if you have taken a different approach, please help me understand this. So this is what taking a diplomatic approach means. Again, when you find vendor bills appear inflated, most of the time this happens vendor bills appear inflated, again, they can take a diplomatic approach, understand with them, can we please have some supporting documents? If you can please produce some evidence, this is going to help you. Promoter offers you a gift during the audit. Obviously, you know your limits. And again, you have to deny in a very diplomatic manner. Peer reviewer identifies a flaw in your working papers. Thanks for pointing that out. I'll visit to that again rather than just being blunt. Achha, this happens most of the time. This is for all of us. Taxpayer claims a deduction without support. Most of the time this happens. What are you going to say? Sir, I understand about, I'm very much sure that you must have done the right thing, but can you please produce an evidence? I have to document. I have to put it in my papers. I would like to know the nature of transaction. I would like to understand the nature of this deduction better. So you have to phrase your words with very much caution. Again, moving ahead, we have some case studies related to fraud. Satyam scam, ILFS scam, both of these were some big ones in history. And what did they point out? Let's understand. So Satyam case, again, I must say, let it be any fraud, let it be any scam. It's never that the CA had less knowledge. It's never the point that CA was not knowledgeable enough. It's always the point that we did not question enough. We took things for granted. Because had we been more skeptical, had we taken more steps, definitely we would have reached to a point where we would have just found out about the material misstatement. So what happened in the Satyam case? The auditors did not go for external confirmations. They took their answers that this is how it is. This is our system is showing. This is the balance that we have. And they took it for answers. They could have checked with third party. Obviously, all our standards on auditing point this out, that how we have to make our work better, how we can be more professional with our work, how we can do our work better. But if we just try to cut on our procedures, if we try to chase our deadlines, if we just do away with our steps, definitely scams like this would happen. And every time such a scam take place, the integrity of entire CA community is being questioned. Yes, because every time any scam happens, people are like, what was CA doing? Definitely CA is involved. Definitely CA is involved. Our work is questioned, our integrity is questioned, our objectivity is questioned, our ethics are questioned. So it's better that we do not do away with the steps. We maintain a professionally skeptical mind. We keep on digging things. We keep on digging things. We keep on understanding things. We keep on understanding things and we keep on questioning, but again with much diplomacy. Okay. Next, again, we have this case of ILFS. What happened here also? It was a conflict of interest with the board members and the management. The chartered, they did not take care of the related party transaction, and this was the result. Okay. With this, I come towards the end of my session with some key takeaways for all of you. There are some do's and don'ts that I would like you to follow. First of all, don't assume the worst. Being skeptical doesn't mean that you put blame on others, be disrespectful to others, prove that somebody is a fraud, they're doing their work wrong. Skepticism is not cynicism. Okay, so do not assume the worst. Have a questioning mind and seek answers to them. Just do not try to prove that somebody else is less knowledgeable, you're more knowledgeable, you know things better just because you're a part of audit team. Do not try to do that. Have questions and trust your gut with everything. Don't use harsh or sarcastic tone. Don't blame without proof and don't gossip or speculate. Yes, 4 key takeaways from my side. Do not blame, do not gossip about it. You found out something, you started spreading rumors. Do not use harsh language and do not assume that yes, yeah, there is some fraud and all. Do not do that unless you are clear with something. What are your do's? What is something that you really have to take care? The do's, you have to notice and pause. When you spot any red flag, please think before reacting. You can use your signals first. You can just point out that transaction. You can clarify facts, always verify with documents, not assumptions. As I've already told you, please be clear with your facts. Before jumping on any conclusion, be clear with your facts. Phrase tactfully, use soft and clear language. This is very important. You are already taking your other sessions and you know how much important interpersonal skills are, right? So interpersonal skills are very important. You have to maintain the relationship also. You have to do your work also. You have to take care of the ICI's code of ethics. You have to take care of all the standards. Use a soft language. Make sure that your interpersonal skills are highlighted, that yes, you're a very professional person, you are a very diplomatic person, you never disrespect anybody. Document objectively, record what was said to you, what was given to you with evidence. Do not just assume things. Do not just assume things. Yes, we have a question here. We have a question here. How to say no without offending anyone? That is a very good question. How to say no without offending anyone? If I have to say no towards a particular thing, suppose the client is asking me that you better leave this part, and I'm not here to leave the part. I'm not here to leave any line item. I have to say that no, sir, I won't be just letting this go. So I have to use my approach. I can say that, so this is a part of my responsibility. I have to go through this. So this is a part of my responsibility that I have to point out even minor things. So if it is not very much a trouble, I would like to take my senior on this and just take an opinion whether I can let this go. So this is how you can tackle things. You better not be a pushover, but not be blunt at the same time, not be rude at the same time. I think I'm clear with my answer. Any other questions we have here?
So we can conclude the session now.
Sure, sir. We have the final thought. Professionalism is not about being loud with the truth, but being wise with its delivery. So what charters are required to do? We are not there to show that how much we know and how much we can dig in and how much we can prove, but we are there to maintain relationships. We are there to create a bond, and we have to take this relationship for a long term. We have to give inputs to the client so that they also gain insights from our work. Always trust your instincts, always trust your gut, have a skeptical mind, but never lose your tone. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining the session. That was me, Ishwara Kapoor, signing off.
Thank you. Over to moderator, sir, for concluding remarks.
Thank you so much, CA Kapoor ma'am. Very true. Professionalism is not about being loud, but being wise in your performing while performing your duties. For this insightful and power-packed session on practicing professional skepticism with diplomacy, you have truly shown us that beyond just crunching numbers, it's how we communicate them that drives real decisions. To all our participants, thank you for your presence and enthusiastic engagement today. We hope this session will assist in a positive manner on said topic. Let's continue the spirit of learning as part of the run at the rate 100 webinar series and take every opportunity to grow as future ready CA professionals. Until next time, take care and keep learning. While performing, very nicely explained by ma'am, while performing professional duties, there should be communication skills as strategic plus balancing the behavior to reach the expected outcome. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you to the
Thank you.
faculty and moderator, sir, for this session. We also thank all dear students to their active participation in the session. We also thank to our chairman and vice chairman, sir, for taking this initiative. Students are requested to please join the run series every Tuesday and Friday from 4 to 5 p.m. to learn and grow. Thank you. Thank you all.